I don't know about you, but, our marriage has changed through the years a lot. We've changed jobs, we've changed, you know, homeschool curriculums, we've changed education models. There's been different seasons, we've had special needs, and it's been different, up and down through the years. And I think that sometimes when those changes happen, we maybe we have those struggles, we have those hard times. And I think it's just really, really important to, just stay intentional and, remember that, this is who you're with. And, let's just continue to live this out each and every day.
Our kids and our husband are our identity, but it seems almost more so our kids because maybe they're just so much more needy. And I don't say that in a bad way. But they need us as moms.
Mm-hmm.
And so constantly we're thinking about what the next thing is, what the next need is, what the next project is, what papers need to be graded, what lesson plans need to be made, and all those things. So how do you separate the two and be fully engaged with your husband?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think that the biggest thing we have to remember is it's a choice. So, will homeschooling change your marriage? Absolutely, it will. But it's up to us if we want that to be a good thing or a bad thing. And we have a choice every day to just continue to love our husband and continue to live out what a marriage, should look like from a godly, perspective with our kids. And so I've been married for 20 years. It's crazy to me that I've been married that long. But there are a few things, I've learned through the years that I think are important, and hopefully it can, benefit your listeners a little bit. And one of those is laughter. I think that one thing I forget, when you're in the midst of lots of kids, lots of littles, and all of the homeschooling things is, our husbands come home and they get the worst of us. They get the tired part of us. They get the I am, ready to just unload these kids a little bit and just have some breathing time. And sometimes we forget why we fell in love with our husband to begin with and what things we maybe did when we were, dating. And one of those things is laugh. Remember that, remember what makes your husband laugh, what makes you laugh. Find some things that you can just do with your husband together, whether it be a funny TV show that you guys used to watch together. My husband and mine's guilty pleasure is Friends. Some people will think I'm a horrible person for that, but we can sit and turn it on and just laugh with each other. And, that's kind of our guilty pleasure a little bit. So you don't fall out of love. You just have to work at it. And I think that, again, that's something that we forget when you've been married for years and years, that, marriage is work. And, there's nothing else I'd rather do with my time than work on my relationship with my husband and, continue to have a happy, thriving marriage. And that takes time. Whenever you're dating, you invest all of this time in that relationship. And then when you get married, you kind of don't. And I don't necessarily think that's what we should do. We should continue to work and continue to do what we can to invest in our marriage, whether that be going to, listening to podcasts on marriage, like you talked about the host, the guest you have this week that is doing the marriage. I cannot remember what you said his name was.
Bob Lepine.
Yes, Bob Lepine. So just listening to things like that, that's investing time in your marriage by, getting wisdom from others, that are walking down that path. Make time to talk and connect every day. So I'll send my husband like little texts, throughout the day of what the kids are doing, what we're learning, just send him texts that I love you. Put little notes in his lunchbox. When he comes home, just make time to talk, ask him about his day instead of just completely unloading everything that went wrong, throughout the day. I actually did that this week. I sent a picture of to my husband. He's like, "How's your day going?" And I sent a picture to him of cereal all over the floor of our kitchen. My youngest is a 5th grader. Explain to me why I'm still sweeping up cereal off of my floor. It's still happening. It's been 20 years and it's still happening. But, I sent that to him and we kind of laughed about it. And, it keeps them connected, to us and to our family throughout the day.
I like that you talk about, because really what you're doing is you're talking about being intentional, which we talk about
absolutely.
on the podcast all the time. I mean, it has to do with parenting. It has to do with marriage. The things that we do don't just happen by accident.
Yes.
And, one of my favorite things, and now my husband works from home. And so he's here with us all day long. And so I see him all day long. But in the past, when he's worked outside of the home, we would send each other text messages and call each other and just check in and, just, hey, I'm thinking about you. I love you. I appreciate you. Those are the things that really do build your marriage. And you mentioned too, that you don't fall out of love. And I think that is such a powerful point. And you just breeze through that. But that is such an important thing to remember. We've been married 28 years. And it has not happened by accident. It was because we were committed to one another. And most importantly, because we were committed to the Lord. But there have been times where both of us have felt like we didn't love each other. And I would say that was definitely the beginning years of our marriage. We would get so upset with each other. We were still learning how to do this marriage thing. We were still learning what it looked like to serve one another and to love each other. But there definitely have been times where, I just felt like I do not even like him, much less love him. And I know he's felt that way about me. But we had committed to the Lord that this was for life, no matter what. We had made that covenant with God. And I'm so thankful that we stuck through even those difficult years, because we're so much stronger for it now. And we know that we're committed. We know that in the hardest times, we're committed to one another, and no one can break that apart. No one can destroy that. We can choose to destroy it on our own, but it's not about always feeling like you're in love. Sometimes it's just a decision that you have to make that, what, I love this person and I love the Lord. And so we're going to work this out and we're going to stay committed to each other. And that's a hard thing to do sometimes, especially when you're in a really deep valley of your marriage. But that's when you cling to the Lord and just say, Lord, I don't know how we're going to do this, but I'm trusting you to bring us through this time. And then, you mentioned just working at it. You have to work at it. It doesn't happen by accident.
Each of us can remember, whether you are at home right now with lots of littles, starting off on your homeschool journey, or you have teenagers and you're nearing, the end of your homeschool journey, who you were when you first started homeschooling or when you first got married and who you are now is different. There's going to be ups and downs, hills and valleys within your marriage and within that season. And it's just about growing together instead of growing apart. And it takes intentionality. It takes, waking up every single day and choosing your spouse every single day, day after day after day, because we took vows, till death do us part. We took vows under God. And I think that's important. And I think in a culture right now that throws, marriage out left and right, and there's not a lot of long-term relationships or marriages, modeled anymore, even within the church. I just think it's important to, intentionally live that out in front of our kids. And I don't know about you, but, our marriage has changed through the years a lot. We've changed jobs, we've changed, homeschool curriculums, we've changed education models. There's been different seasons, we've had special needs. And it's been different, up and down through the years. And I think that sometimes when those changes happen, we have those struggles, we have those hard times. And I think it's just really, really important to, just stay intentional and, remember that, this is who you're with. And, let's just continue to live this out each and every day.
Yeah. And be on the same team, cheer each other on, pray for each other. I mean, there are so many ways to be intentional with marriage and just joining together as husband and wife. I mean, there was a time when you really loved each other, or else you wouldn't be married. There was something that attracted you to one another. And so go back to that and trust the Lord to bring healing if healing needs to be brought, and to strengthen marriages. Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.